Italians would give them.
Todd, would you lead us in the pledge tonight? Are we good to go? Good to go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Deputy Supervisor Villanova.
Heavenly Father, bless this assemblage. Grant us the wisdom to make our every decision fair-minded and in the best interest for all its residents. I kindly ask everyone to please keep the Colangelo family in your prayers for a moment of silence for the passing of Marie Colangelo, John Colangelo, and Dan Colangelo's mother. Thank you.
Okay, on that news, our condolences go to the Colangelo family for certain. I know she's proud of her two sons, and I know they're just as proud of their mom. And their daughter, Joanne, was a good friend of mine, a terrific classmate as well. Okay, any comments on the minutes of the meeting from June 19th?
Page 3, middle of the page. Just want to change Gelfarb.
Okay. We changed that already, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's the only thing.
Is he no longer with us?
I just can't get him out of my mind.
That's the only thing I saw.
Okay, if with that change, can I get a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, good.
Aye.
All in favor?
Beautiful.
Perfect. I look to my left and I see Christina. I'm not sure how you're confusing Gelfarb. Okay, departmental reports.
Okay.
Mr. Nowotnik's on vacation. Do we allow him to take vacation, Mr. Nowotnik? What's the rules on that?
He gets 2 weeks a year, but he has to work from there, right?
Exactly.
I still get emails from him.
He's watching. He's live. He's casting us live over the internet. I know he's. Mr. Nowotnik, how are you?
I heard he vacated his job and Greg took over. So.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Town clerk's report for June 2012, $1,897, and for 2011 it was $1,782.73. Tax collections for the month of June. Deposit to the supervisor, $9,526,494.52. Deposit to the treasurer of the village of Port Chester, $7,548,000. What am I doing? I'm sorry. Deposit to the supervisor, $797,531.59. The Port Chester treasurer, $9,526,494.52, and for the village of Rye Brook, $7,548,795.48. A total of $17,872,821.59. And for the month of June for Crawford Park, $11,139.50.
Perfect. Now, they blame me for the meetings being long. I'm going to see if we set a record tonight. I think it's Mr. Nowotnik that keeps them for so long.
Yeah, right, he's not here.
Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, Mr. Arcaro. Update us in the Model American community, I guess.
What you have before you is a chart summarizing the inaugural Model American Community Summer Internship. We're very excited about this. It was a 6-week internship. If you recall, in previous discussions, we spoke about how so many of the organizations in the community, especially those who work with families, felt that we could do more for the youth. Kept coming back to the youth. What could we do for the youth? On so many levels, finishing school, thinking about college, thinking about occupations. So Dave Thomas, Alonzo Payan, myself, and others put together a 6-week summer internship. The first week, however, we monopolized the students' time, and it was 15 hours on job readiness workshop topics. We covered 4 topics. How do you know somebody's hiring? Second, how can you fill out that application or put together that resume in such a manner that somebody's going to select you for the interview? How could you really do well in that interview, because that's where the deal is made? And then follow up your behavior on the job. So we covered those 4 topics. I must say the youth were wonderful. You can see their names on the left-hand side. So 15 hours was that first week, which we finished last week. This week, they're starting the internships in the Model American Communities organizations who volunteered. And they were wonderful because we actually did the mock interviews. We had 3 set up here in this room and down the hall. So each of the 5 organizations actually interviewed each of the 10 youth who were part of the internship. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I think the organizations are going to benefit, and I think we'll hear back from them for sure. I know the students are going to benefit, the internship. So they will have 5 weeks interning. You can see on the far right column, 3 of them will be here full-time with the town. Others will be part-time in the town. Some will be totally with the Model American Community. One of the young ladies will actually be working in the assessment department on a full-time, so she was sort of picked up on the
Crack the
town's
whip on
internship.
Mr. Markowitz, hopefully.
Well, he picked a wonderful person. So we're very excited about it. You'll see that some churches there, some community organizations. So the first time that we took a shot at seeing if we could respond to this, can we do something about youth, that kept recurring. So we'll keep you apprised of it. Certainly, if you hear anything, please let us know.
What I'd like to see is at the end of the summer, if they could come and maybe present on what they've learned.
I bet they love that.
Yeah, so that'd be another, skill set.
To the council meeting.
Yeah. Even if it's in September, if the internships, and have them come present both on so those are different organizations. Maybe they can, present on the organization what they did, but sort of comment on what they learned from the experience and at the end. So if they could, help work with them to make a presentation to the board, it'd be terrific.
I think they'd love that, and I think you would enjoy it too.
Great.
Absolutely. I would love to hear what they have to say. I mean, this is fantastic, what I think we're doing to reach out to the community here and give these kids an opportunity to learn something about job skills. I mean, this is amazing that as a government entity we're doing that.
Yeah, and as you can see, the churches, the NAACP, the Clay Arts Center, Children's Center, they embraced it rather strongly. So we thought it would be helpful.
Greg, who was doing, teaching them, how to write the resume and to...
Sure. We had Dave Thomas, Alejandro, and myself in my other life in Yonkers. That's what I do.
Very good.
What do you do in Yonkers?
We have a youth employment program. And these are the kind of topics that we cover, so it kind of worked out really well. But we did a nice, we separated, the tasks, so, because it's 15 hours, they had different people meeting with them. And then when the organizations came in for the interviews, they dressed up, and, kind of like speed dating, everybody saw everybody for about 6 minutes.
Now, the resume building and interview skills and things of that nature, that was all to benefit the 10 interns.
That's right.
Now, what I would say is part of this is, and because we're looking to kind of pay it forward, is these students should then try to partner with someone who's not part of the intern program and try to pass along those skills that they learned here. So the 10 becomes 20, the 20 becomes 40. That's what I see, is that's how we can really build our community as far as, the children and the students, so they're prepared in the summertime, and then obviously right out of high school, they have a better shot. So that's what I see with this, and a great job, thanks.
And I think you also bring up a great point, because I think 2 were high school graduates, but the rest were in high school, so they would be able to expand that circle.
Right.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The truth is, if they become proficient enough, they could probably help some adults in the community brush up on their skills as well. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Arcaro. Actually, while you're up there, do you want to do the Or do you want to wait till the, we'll wait till the agenda. You want to do the preparedness?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Again, very briefly, just wanted to update you. You have the executive summary of the draft.
Since you're channeling Mr. Nowotnik tonight,
I think he's enjoying Cape May. You have the executive summary of the report that the consultants did to help us with how we can do a better job of protecting our staff, our workplace, our files. And I thought that the person who came did a very nice job. He interviewed each of the departments, and you'll see a range, everything from you could use file cabinets in certain places, but they're not using file cabinets, to some pretty important, I think, recommendations regarding, for example, there's a nice paragraph in here about backing up the point of sales at Rye Town Park. So when permits and activities are recorded, they're not backed up, or some that are backed up on site. So a lot of wonderful suggestions. If you remember, all of this grew out of that terrible storm we had last April 2011. And it's needless to say, one of the recommendations includes taking all the records from downstairs in the basement and getting them out of there, which they're getting there. But I thought you might enjoy seeing the executive summary. Again, the $9,500 cost was totally paid for by the state, and we get $500 for administering it.
All right. Thank you.
thanks so much. Thanks, Mr. Arcaro. Thank you so much. Great job. Great job. Okay. Who's going to take us through these new resolutions? Mr. Markowitz is out, and Mr. Nowotnik's out. Are you going to take us through these, Mr. Noda?
Yeah, I am going to do that, sir. These, of course, you remember from the last meeting.
Do I ever?
I was referring to the audience.
Do we ever go back to the videotape on this?
Keep in mind that first phrase you said this evening, record.
Thank you, Councilwoman Messina. We're going to hold them to that. One Harbor Drive is a residential matter handled exclusively by the assessor on a SCAR proceeding. Numbers speak for themselves. He recommends that we approve the settlement.
On questions?
Minor reductions there.
Is there anything, any challenges from 2008 onwards?
Apparently not that I'm aware of now. But I wouldn't necessarily know because it's a SCAR. They don't come to me. They only go directly to the assessor. I only get certs, usually the commercial certiorari. These are residentials.
Make a motion to accept the resolution as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Resolution B, as you recall, was the one that inspired the supervisor to schedule another meeting. So, interestingly,
Interestingly, you taking good notes?
Interestingly, the petitioner in this matter withdrew the 2012 challenge.
Beautiful.
Not necessarily because of what happened at the not to empower the supervisor any more than he's empowered.
I wasn't going to go off at all this
The challenge was withdrawn, so
for whatever reason.
As long as we kept it at 675, which we did, challenge is withdrawn. So actually, the process worked.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Very
Motion to accept resolution B as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Okay,
You know
on
what?
a roll here.
And that just goes to show the reason why we can't be hasty and approve these resolutions
That's
when it comes to certiorari's and things of that nature. We need to be mindful about it and approach it.
Absolutely correct, Deputy Supervisor Villanova. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
Crawford Park Mansion Staircase.
Okay, so do you want me to talk to this?
Yep, please.
All right, so quite simply, we realized that the bids that came in with regards to the scope of work that was provided by the architect, the bids that came in were out of our capital, much larger than our capital plan. And so I'd like to make a motion that we reject the bids wholly, and then look to reevaluate this project with the architect, and then revisit the the request for proposal by the architect
Okay,
and put out
motion.
new bids.
Motion to...
Well, I have a
accept
question
resolution.
with regards to that. I mean, has there been a feasibility study done in terms of justifying this? Now, the cost has gone up almost double. I don't know if we're going to cost down in the range we thought, but certainly we had predicated this building of the staircase on the assumption of increased revenues. I'm just wondering if there's a feasibility study that shows what we can expect to gain by building that staircase, or if we in fact need to have that updated.
What I remember, Councilman Nioras, was that it wasn't necessarily about the investment and the return, but it was more so opening up the second floor so we can realize the use of the second floor.
There's certain costs with doing that, and $100,000 cost for opening up that, or are we recouping that expense, and over what time frame?
No, but we didn't do a feasibility study, and there was never any, certainly not that I remember, and there was no analysis done where we expected to get revenues as a result of that. I think what happened was we wanted to open up the second floor that's underutilized, and we wanted to make it available again to not-for-profits so they could use it and so forth and so on. And what happened was it's one of these projects where we didn't want a fire escape, but ultimately we're told we had to have one.
If you want to use the second floor.
We wanted to use the second floor. And so then what happened was then, I think we were originally talking about 45-50, then it's 55-60, and now all of a sudden it's at 100.
Right.
So I think the Commission's rightly suggesting, and as you're suggesting, Councilman Norris, that we pull time. I think what we need to do, and maybe your background in engineering, maybe I've got to believe there's a much more cost-effective solution.
You got to apply by OSHA rules, so you need someone who understands OSHA regulations.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
that's a rub there, but I guess there are many ways to deal with OSHA and their requirements. But
Well, one time they were talking about you have a ladder. You could. I was told you could put a rope ladder and just throw it out the window.
I'm just saying.
We ran into trouble.
My
But the
point
insurance
is
company balked at that one. So
my point is that the cost is now double from what we
Yeah.
originally thought. It
Yep.
looked like something that was, quite feasible in the
Yeah.
$35,000-$45,000
Yeah.
range. And now, do we really need to look again at what the economic justification is for putting that staircase in? I mean, would it be better not to utilize the 2 or 3 rooms up there? And what about some of the ancillary use, the parking spaces, et cetera, from increased usage?
I think you're right. I think we'd have to go back to the drawing board effectively. I think by rejecting these
I
proposals.
think we need to open it up, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to take the lead on that?
Well, I don't know if I have the time to do
Okay.
that, but if, when Bishop comes back, and, I don't know if Greg has a head for that type of stuff, maybe
Right.
he could do that.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. Good. But I think you're right. When we reject this, if the commission decides to, or the board decides to reject, I think you're right. We're basically back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
We should follow
you
up.
need to revisit everything, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get a motion? Well, Councilman Deputy Supervisor Villanova, get a motion to accept the proposal to reject the
Accept to
The
reject.
motion is to reject the bids.
reject the bids.
Okay, but
Are you rebidding it? Is that the
well,
plan? Oh.
let's
we need
be
to
mindful of this.
discuss
The resolution is to reject the bid.
Yep.
Okay, and then have it, reviewed, and then sent out to have it rebid.
Okay, what I want to do is I want to have, I think what I'd like to do is reject the bid, and I think we need to revisit where we are.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the resolution as written with the amendment that we will not rebid.
Until we have a strategy.
Yeah, but we can always bid for it at some time in the future.
Yeah,
I don't
well-
think we need to put that into the...
You have to, because the resolution is written to rebid.
Okay.
So that's
Sure.
it. Good.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the resolution as amended?
So moved.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Beautiful. Okay. Disaster management plan we've done. Select date for, well, the certiorari meeting, I think we can do the date. Can I, let me say, When's the third Tuesday in August?
21st?
There it is, August 21st.
All right, I may not be here. I'd like to be here when Mr. Markowitz makes his presentation.
I will not be available.
You won't be here either?
Actually, I won't be here either.
The summers are...
I was hoping you'd have the meeting. So, I'll have Martha come.
Do we want to move next month's meeting then? To the second Tuesday?
You move it, which is the 14th?
14th? So do you want to do that?
No, wait, I'm sorry. You said the third Tuesday, it's our regular meeting.
Yes, that's my point.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
I was going to make
No, the regular meeting is the 21st of August.
Oh, that's
the third Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, I'm
The
here.
14th is the second Tuesday.
So, okay, so I was going to suggest that we have the reason we had a special meeting for the certiorari presentation was because Mr. Markowitz wasn't going to be here this evening, and we decided we didn't want to wait. Unfortunately, we didn't have the kind of participation we wanted from the community. I guess the question is, an August meeting is going to similarly make it difficult to get, so why don't we move the certiorari presentation to the September meeting?
Okay.
And
That
one-
makes sense.
Yeah, right.
That's September 18th.
Right. Okay, so September 18th, so if
That's the
everybody's
regularly
agreed-
scheduled meeting.
Right, so we'll have Mr. Markowitz make a slam-bang presentation on the certiorari funds along with Mr. Noto, and we'll make every effort to get, full participation from the different towns, particularly the schools that are most impacted by these certiorari.
But do you want to reschedule the regularly scheduled meeting in August or leave it on the 21st?
That's up, are we going to have a quorum for the 21st?
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
Okay, that's fine, then we'll
Wonderful.
keep it. I won't be here, I'll be in, hopefully, Sunday myself. But, okay, terrific. Excellent. So, Mr. Markowitz isn't here. Finance.
Just two quick items for tonight. One is I gave you today the tax receivable summary schedule. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because we're about to start at the end of this month the next round of the MREM project that Attorney Paul Noto and Tax Receiver Nick Mecca send out information about there's about 38 properties currently as of June 30th, and we anticipate probably about 32 to 34 properties that have taxes that are part of the NREM. So those are the 2009 liens that were filed in October 2010. So it's been 2 years since they've been liened, so then they need to pay those property taxes, or Town Attorney Noto will then try to request the properties to be transferred to the town. So this is an annual project that Town Attorney, but there's a few more properties this year they'll have to address.
38?
There's currently 38. There are, we'll take the payments through July, and that's really where his starting point is. So we'll give them an updated list that will be confirmed by myself and Tax Receiver Mecca that these are the properties that owe the taxes. It'll provide him with the taxes that are owed for that year and the total taxes that are owed. We anticipate those 38 properties probably have a balance of about $1.4 million in total taxes, of which about $342,000 is owed just for the tax year 2009.
Okay, so, perfect. And we Mr. Noto, could you work with Mr. Nowotnik to come up with a proposal for disposal of the properties that we have?
In fact, I did tell him a month ago that we had completed all of our NREMs for 2011, 2010, 2009. So I said, you can go ahead. You're free to go ahead and have the auction. There are really only 5 or 6 properties. 313 Locust, still working on.
But the assessed value of those properties is just under $1 million, right?
No, the ones we own?
Yeah.
I don't know.
On page 2 of the tax summary.
Just that's happened.
The Rock Ridge we can't sell. It's a part. It's like a yard, so that really wouldn't count. But 738 Halstead, which we took 2 years ago, absolutely, that could be auctioned off. Shore Drive, I have an offer on. Fox Island Drive, we can auction off. and Madison. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, this
what
is this goes $600,000. It's going to help us enormously, right? That's
Yeah.
that's money that we don't have. Town accountant Terenzi, is that in our budget anywhere? I don't think it is it?
yeah.
This is effectively found money.
Yeah.
We were a little aggressive last year, so we pulled back this year on
Right.
what we thought we were going to gain on sale of property. So,
And this will be very welcome money. I know Mr. Hubert was terribly nervous about the finances of the town. Yeah. So we need. Would you please make a recommendation? Are you here
I
next
did.
month? Are you here
I
next
am.
month?
I'm here. I will do it again. I
Would you
did
make-
talk to
yes.
Bishop about that, and I said, go get the auctioneer and get going. Get it going.
The poor guy's not here this month, so he can't defend himself. But okay, great. Because the new group that you're talking about is really a year away.
So that's a year away from getting
Right,
anything.
That's a year away, but
That's-
the process of,
That
town
the process
attorney goes
begins
through it.
August 1st.
Right.
Then they get. That's when I
Have you
file.
started your book yet? I mean, you must have some fantastic stories.
I'm hoping.
But
I
that brings in the cash. When he starts his process, that's the cash flow that we need.
That's cash flow, but this money's budgeted, right? It's all part of we
Yeah.
budget this money as far as receivables, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just collections.
It's just cash.
Cash flows.
Cash flow. Correct. The only other point I wanted to make is that we've went out to the board for the resolution to approve for borrowing in May. We have met the 30-day public notice and a 20-day estoppel period. So our next step is to look at how to borrow those funds, the $2 million, which is mostly for the bridges. And right now, in talks with town accountant Terenzi, it looks like a ban is probably the best way
Well, you
to
guys,
go.
I want a formal recommendation.
Of course,
I want a formal recommendation with all the alternatives.
Right.
And when do we have to make that decision?
Just when we go out for borrowing.
So was that by September? By when?
By September, yeah. Prior to, we need to get the funds in. Sure, by September, October.
So the
There's
August
been a
meeting.
delay. Yeah, there's no approval. The approval's been done. It's just
No, but I want to
from
see
you.
a formal presentation to the board. This is what, if we did it this way, it's going to cost this. If it's going to do it this way, it's going to cost that. I want to, compare the band versus the long term. I'm not doubting where we've gotten to with our conclusion, but as a fiduciary to the public, we need to make sure that we've examined all the options. I just need a 2-3 page memo.
Sure.
And presentation.
Yeah, that's it.
And do we have time? If we do it next month, does that give us time?
Yes, that's fine.
So, Deputy Supervisor Villanova, you guys will make the decision next month on that.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Mr. Byrnes. Thank you. Election Coordinator. The Honorable Mr. Mecca. How are you feeling, Mr. Mecca?
Okay, thank you. Fine. Honorable Supervisor Carvin, honorable members of the Town Council, before Mr. Nowotnik went on vacation, I really put him to work. Anyway, finally, we have received the okay from the Westchester County Board of Elections to disperse the lever machines that are stored in the town garage. Bishop has contacted each school person. We have a number of how many machines they would like. They are now planning to find where their stores, because they have to take care, they're going to use these machines moving forward for their elections, so they're totally out of our hands, and this will free up the town garage.
Great.
Take all that stuff out. It's been sitting there for years. The equipment really belongs to the Board of Elections. It's not our machines any longer. We had to turn them in 2005. So that will take place in the next week or so. Yesterday morning, we did begin our instruction classes here. Each inspector must have 2 classes. One is a procedural class, which takes 3 hours, which explains to them the book system and everything that goes along. And then we will, tomorrow evening, we will start with the machine classes. That's only an hour and a half, but that'll run tomorrow, like 10 at a time. Tomorrow evening, 4 times, and one Thursday morning. That class teaches them the actual operation of the machine. So hopefully they'll be getting a little bit better when they get out to the polls. You know, we did have this
How
place
much
was
confidence you
full.
can have that the November election results will be accurate?
Well, results,